Greetings and salutations. Oh man, I should do that again, but we're live. Greetings and salutations. There we go. I did it live. Another episode of Fangs Up. Man, it's like I just did this earlier this morning. I did. so I did that because we did not do a show on Thursday. For those who missed, we did have a lightning strike, pretty much kill my internet at my house. And so we went a few days without internet, and not gonna lie, the Wi-Fi to the cell phone isn't always great in this area. We got a newer house. So, but that being said, whole lot going on in relation to Florida A&M University athletics continuing. Thank y'all to Joshua Padilla, all the people who are promoting and sharing all the stuff online. G Thomas, and we had the FAMU football scrimmage today. We're gonna talk about that a smidgen, not a lot. We also have some new coaches. We're going to talk about them, who they are. Some of them are coming back to the 850. We're also going to talk about some students that were offered. And the big thing for this show, though, is going to be the Southern preview and why I think this Tallahassean is just going to tell you this is the game to go to. This is the best bang for your buck. So, just saying, let's get started. So, FAMU football continues to kind of do it big. If you're not following the FQ FAMU Twitter page, what are you doing? Why haven't you done it yet? And if you aren't following that Fangs Up Twitter page, what are you doing? I can kind of understand a little bit. Sometimes not a lot. But that being stated and that being said, the FAMU football team did extend an offer to one Sahir Rayner, 5'10", 188-pound safety from Trinity Episcopal School, another school in that DMV area, 3-star 2024 prospect. I just did his little picture thing. So congratulations to him. And that's a big get. You can tell FAMU is very serious about the secondary. I'm going to question openly if that DB from Rickers, that boy has been getting all these interceptions, is he going to transition to like a safety or a robber position? I would love to see him in that kind of spot. And maybe that's a position that he can take over, because I think that's where BJ Bowler is. I see a lot of the LaMarcus Joyner in him, that playmaking ability, that ability to come off the corner, which he did during the season last season. We do have film of BJ blitzing off the corner, and I believe he did get a sack last year. Obviously, we saw him getting interceptions, and that to me just opens up an area in the secondary, in a very packed and very competitive secondary, for a young man to come in, and hopefully Zahir thinks FAMU is the right school for him. He does have school offers, or college offers, there's the right term, at other major universities. So we'll see. 5'10", 188, 3-star prospect. All right. That being said, though, FAMU's added more coaches to the football program, and that's a good thing. We need that kind of morale boost because, man, these past couple weeks, we've been losing coaches left and right. Our golf coach's last day was about 2 days ago. So Coach Rice was awesome at Florida A&M. Prairie View is going to get them a heck of a coach. But our new coaches for the football team, first name, if you're like me, a person who likes Florida State and FAMU, I saw this name. I'm like, I know that guy. So James Colsey, he is the pass game coordinator. He's also going to be working with the defensive backs. He played Florida football at the Florida State University, and previously he was the head coach at St. Mary's University in Canada. So we're getting a guy who's from Tallahassee to come back. And this is one of the things that I told y'all about earlier. I've said it before. FAMU needs to become a launching pad for coaches and individuals that want to go past Florida A&M University. And we're seeing that. That's something that, if you're going to continue to get talent to come into FAMU and come out of FAMU, then all of a sudden what you're going to be able to do and see is that the Willie Simmons coaching tree is going to continue to expand and grow and develop into something that benefits the university in the future, when Coach Simmons starts to question and wonder, is FAMU the place to stay? I'm not saying he's trying to leave us, but I am going to say If you watch the Why Not Us documentary like I did, Coach and his wife both stated, well, we have a house, we have a house, we have a place to stay, and if something changes, we still have a place to come home to. Not saying that he's trying to leave, but if somebody offers that man $1 million to coach somewhere, I wouldn't be mad at him. Another coach we got though is Devon Morgan, safeties coach, and he has NFL experience. He played for the New York Jets as well as the Philadelphia Eagles, and he also played at Virginia Tech. So 2 coaches to help with the secondary, and it's gonna be interesting for Colsey because that's the guy I kind of have my eye on, not because he is an FSU grad or former FSU player, but more so because he has a spot on the offense as well as the defense. He's the pass game coordinator, which is kind of up under that offensive coordinator role. And then that kind of makes me wonder, okay, what is our current offensive coordinator looking at as far as potential opportunities and things like that? Because he just came from the SEC as an analyst and he comes to FAMU to become the offensive line coach as well as the offensive coordinator. Now we're bringing in a guy that's going to be the passing game coordinator as well as over the secondary or the corners. I'm just going to ask that question openly. Also, what we've also been able to see within these past couple of weeks and past couple of practices, NFL scouts have been at FAMU. If you did not see the video from today that FAMU dropped, you see Coach Simmons talking to a scout from the San Francisco 49ers, and he's talking about Isaiah Lane. You expect that. We also were able to hear earlier that BJ Bowler was getting attention, so don't be surprised if we continue to see NFL scouts come in and out. Last season, the Pittsburgh Steelers scout was there, and he was talking to the coaches and saying, hey, if you go to a smaller school, the coaches will find you. And we saw that to a degree, but it didn't result in drafts for FAMU players. It could be the circumstances for why they transferred or what have you, but we saw where anyone worth their salt, for the most part, has stated that, especially when referring to Marquise Bell, he should have got drafted. And you're looking at his preseason film, and he's there. He just on the field in a very crowded safety position. He's standing out in Dallas, and that's bodes well for your program because that states that you can get NFL talent into the NFL. I mean, that wasn't worded correctly. You can get your college level talent into the NFL, and they can have NFL traits and NFL skills. And your coach is selling a product in a way that it's going to be able to grow and get bigger. So that's going to be interesting to see how it plays out through the season. And hopefully I'm there to see a lot of it this season in particular. Now, I will, before we talk about the Southern game, I did notice how the question was asked and some of y'all stated, man, why didn't we have a camp for the girls basketball team? And I'm with you. I'm not going to lie. So hopefully, and as I stated in the last episode, that's something we need to work on. We need to be able to get recruits from all across the state of Florida to come to the Heights of Seven Hills, even if it means we get people from the University of North Florida. And I appreciate you, George Anthony. I do appreciate it. I see that fire emoji. But we need to be able to work together because if we're able to bring talent to FAMU and they're able to see our basketball facilities, they're going to be impressed. And I don't know if y'all are like when I was in college, but the women's basketball team was better than the men's to the point that we would leave when the guys played because they weren't as good. We're fickle fans. If you build the program, we will come. So just keep that in your mind for next year. Hopefully we're able to get some individuals excited and involved enough to us building a basketball program. Now, somebody must have said something because my nose is itching like crazy. But this game right here, the Southern FAMU game, is your bargain game for the season. I'm not talking about betting lines or anything like that. I'm not trying to get you to do a crazy spread, or I'm not doing that. This is the best game to see at Bragg this season, period. It's going to be better than homecoming because at homecoming, after halftime, everybody's leaving. The Southern game, some people will leave, but it's not going to be the same. Largely because, especially if Southern brings the human jukebox, which they're good for doing, that fifth quarter is going to be live. So the whole game, the bands are going to be blowing at each other. But also, it's the time of the year. Check the schedule. The FAMU Southern game is the same time as the North Florida Fair, and the North Florida Fair is nothing to write home about. It's not the Strawberry Festival. It's not the State Fair, but it's a really good fair if you're family oriented. So I'm gonna challenge my man BJ, BJ Jones, and HBCU Game Day. BJ, come to this one if you have an opportunity, and bring your family, because before the game, if you get an opportunity to take them to the fair and then go to the game, it's going to be a great family atmosphere and a great family environment. So that's how I do my challenges, y'all. I don't, yeah, as y'all see, I don't talk trash. I'm just gonna invite you to come out and enjoy my city. I'm from Tallahassee, so you already know I love my city. But that's gonna be a great day, great atmosphere. Personally, I'm gonna have to double check the time of the game for myself, but I'm probably gonna actually take my child to the fair early in the day so she can kind of get it out of her system, then take her to her grandparents' house and then go cover the game. But it's a great atmosphere. I think that's the most bang for your buck. The hotel prices are not the same as they are for homecoming. You're able to actually not stay at the La Quinta for $300. Oh, you right, Swacking the Fool. Zero quarter is fun. I'm not gonna lie to you. One of the best parts of the FAMU Southern game is the walk-in. When Southern walks in, it's different. I'm not even here to like sell y'all on like something fake or phony. Like it's gonna be fun. And Swacking the Fool, we gotta link up. I'm gonna have to dap y'all up or something, man. Like it's gonna be some fun. That is one of the best atmospheres, and I'm telling you, that's the most bang for your buck, because even if the game turns out to be a blowout either side, it's going to be a great atmosphere. The temperature in Tallahassee is going to be interesting because, and y'all have to forgive me for looking to my left, I'm going to pull up the football schedule so I can see if there's a time for it. I don't remember if there was, but the temperature is not going to be too crazy. Like, it's not going to be 150 degrees. North Florida. And for those who are not familiar, Tallahassee is pretty much in Georgia. Like it's right there next to the Georgia line. So you're going to get those South Georgia weather and everything like that. Yeah, we're only 30, 45 minutes from the beach, but it might get cold. Like if that game gets to be about 7, 8 o'clock, you're going to need a light jacket. I'd rather you be comfortable than to be sitting up there telling you a lie that, oh, it's going to be it's going to be beautiful weather and overcast. Nah, bro, bring a jacket. Because by the fourth quarter, the bands are going to be hot, but you're going to be cold. And that's a 6 o'clock kick. So you're talking about the game probably ending 9 or 10. So I'm going to forewarn you, bring a light jacket, probably wear some jeans. Don't wear your nicest shoes. But yeah, it's going to be a good atmosphere and a lot of fun to be had. And I, for one, want to just kind of give y'all a heads up on that one. Now, let's kind of go into the X and O's for it. Now, last season, that game, it was closer than you may have thought. The final score was 29-17, but Southern was in that game for a good bit. Like, it never got to be just a blowout game to me. I always felt like Southern had a chance to come back. Even when I watched the end of it, I hope it's a sellout. I'm not going to lie to y'all. It should be, like, because Southern fans travel really well. Like, respectfully, Southern fans may travel. And from what I've seen in my experience, they may be the best traveling fan base in the conference that I've experienced. Again, that's my bias. That is the fact that I've grown up around and in FAMU, and I've watched FAMU play Southern in Baton Rouge, Tallahassee, Birmingham, and Atlanta. And nobody travels like Southern, even to Tallahassee. Like Alabama State travels pretty well because they're kind of regional for FAMU. But yeah, nobody likes Southern. Southern, those people travel and they're fun. Like that's a rivalry. that's fun. Like it's a competitive rivalry, y'all. But last year's game, Southern lost to FAMU. And again, it was 29-17 FAMU's favor. And I'm going to pull up Dooley stats. I don't want to pull up Southern stats from last year because honestly, it's really a new team. I mean, Dooley's going to put his imprint on here. And from what I noticed, they threw the ball more than they ran the ball at PV. And that bodes itself really well for what Southern can recruit. Just considering you're in that Baton Rouge area, Louisiana is known for producing high quality talent. I mean, again, I'm a Florida State fan, so the number one player in the state of Louisiana that I'm going to point to is obviously Warwick Dunn. Like hell, I still have my Sports Illustrated from when I was a kid where it says "Get it done." Like, yeah, LSU, Southern, Grambling, they're in a talent-rich state. And Southern has an ability to draw very well. They also have their feeder school that they have there. I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but they have a really good school there. If somebody wants to help me out with that, I'd appreciate it. But again, Southern's got a nice recruiting base, and if Dooley can have that kind of wide open, almost basketball on turfish offense, that's going to be fun. Not just for the Southern fan base, but just in general, because man, so when Southern's good, Southern's fun. When they're not good, it's still fun. Like their fans are still fun. I'm sorry. But last year, points per game. Now, this is Dooley's offense at Prairie View. They averaged 25.42 points per game, which is pretty good and very comparable to FAMU, who had 27 points per game. I shaved off of that little decimal point. So you're talking about a 2-point game between the FAMU offense and the Prairie View offense from last season. And we're going to be able to see how does that change, especially because Dooley got that transfer, that defensive lineman to come with him from Prairie View to Southern. Ooh, that defensive game alone is going to be fun. Like it's a different kind of swagger. Running wise, Dooley had, not Southern, 161 yards per game. So they're going to run the ball, and they have speed, and that's something that they've always had. Like I can't remember the last time I watched a Southern team and I was like, they're slow. Like I've never been able to say that about Southern. I've been able to say that about other teams in the SWAC. Like I watched the Arkansas Pine Bluff game, like they're kind of slow, but I'm from Florida, so for me, I'm used to seeing 4.5s and 4.6s. Like 4.4s are normal. But I looked at it and I was like, yeah, them dudes ain't as fast as us. Southern's not going to be one of those teams. Southern's fast. They're normally physical. They bring the band. Their fans are up there. I sympathize with those who believe that we should bring back, or they should remove the rule where the band should play, because one of the best things Southern had was when they played defense, Jags defense. Yeah, I've been going to games that long. Like it's going to be an interesting battle. Now, passing yards per game, Southern had 200. Dooley, I keep saying Southern, but Dooley had 230 yards per game, which there's an imbalance there if you look at the math, and it tells you that they threw the ball more than they ran it, which is not a surprise, especially in Texas. But considering if you can transfer that offense over to Southern, and with that, to me, that improved level of talent and speed, because I don't think PV was pulling the same talent that Southern was pulling. I could be misspeaking, but I feel like Southern has a better talent pool just because it's less saturated. At that FCS level, yes. But at the same point, there's only one Southern and Grambling. And to me, Southern and Grambling hit just a little bit different than Northwestern State or Nickel State, Southeastern Louisiana. They may have programs that could probably beat Southern and Grambling, but it's not the same cachet. They don't have the Bayou Classic. They don't have the eyes. They don't have the attention of the masses the same way Southern does. So that's going to be something if Dooley can get that offense to continue to produce in that area. And the average time of possession, Something else to look at. Dooley averaged about 31 minutes per game, a little bit more than 31. So a little bit more than half the game. And they had a 7-win season last season. Again, all those things to me bode well for what Dooley can potentially do at Southern going forward. This season, I think they lose. I think they lose to FAMU, but I don't think it's a blowout because it wasn't a blowout last year and Southern wasn't good. I'm gonna go. Let's see. Last season it was 29-17. This game is always a barn burner. The last time Southern came to FAMU, great game. I think we get another good one. This is gonna be one to watch. If you ain't got your tickets, you need to get them. Get those salty behind Rattler dogs and some Coke, and try not to die from the hypertension and the and the diabetes. But I'm gonna say for this one, and y'all know I like to keep record, so that way I'm held accountable. I'm going 34 to 28 FAMU's way. I think FAMU wins this one because I think by that time in the season, FAMU's offense, one, we picked a quarterback. Whether it's McKay or Musa, I'm not sure. But listening to today's news, it seems like McKay had a little bit of growth or some things that happened. So I think by that time we'll have a quarterback. You'll definitely have your running backs. You'll have 3 or 4 running backs. The receiving core looks really good. And by this time, those Southerners also figured out who they are. So this is why I feel like the game is going to be really compelling because I do think Southern wins the West. I feel like Southern is going to be the best team in the SWAC West. And if FAMU is able to have a really good season, this could be a rematch. Meaning, if FAMU is able to beat Jackson State and Alabama A&M, because I don't want y'all to forget about them. They got a good team. Cardinal Maynard's built something up there. It's just when we get them in the schedule, I think they're going to be kind of beat up. But don't sleep on Alabama State either. That's another game that I would wave a red flag, orange flag, something. I don't have any flags to wave. Here we go. Here's a red potato chip clip. There you go. It's something. But pay attention to that game because this could be a rematch at the end of the season in the SWAC championship. And do not be surprised if these two teams meet up in the SWAC championship. Whoever wins this game, it flips the other way. Like I got that feeling. I hope I'm wrong because I want FAMU to win and I want FAMU to win them all. But this game is the best game to go to in the Southwestern Athletic Conference at that time of the season, at that week of the season. My personal opinion. You're going to get the atmosphere. And because FAMU and Southern are so similar, like we're so much alike. We're both in cities where we share with a large PWI. They share with LSU. We share with Florida State. Funny enough, LSU and Florida State play each other in New Orleans. Coincidence. So the food is very similar. The Gulf Coast food, again, Tallahassee's right on the Gulf Coast. So a lot of the food that you would get in that New Orleans, Baton Rouge area, similar in Tallahassee. It's just culturally, we have a lot of similarities. And it's a great atmosphere when the two cultures come together because it's combative, but we don't hate Southern. But we're rivals. Like we want to beat them. Like that's probably our nastiest rivalry that we have. Like Jackson State's trying to get there, but y'all still not my rival. I'm sorry, I'm not there with you yet. Especially because we ain't beat them. Like we haven't beat Jackson State in the last 3 times. Like I'm sorry, if it's not a rivalry if you're not beating them. It's not PC to say it's not cool, but I think over the last 3-4 times we played Jackson State, they've beaten us by less than probably 10-15 points. Last year was 1 point. When it was in Tallahassee, it was close. When it was in Jackson, I think there was a freaking hurricane that went through that area around that time. Like, they're not our rivals. But Southern, yeah, them's our rivals. Like, that's a game where from quarter 0, swacking a fool, I appreciate y'all, to the 5th quarter, it's on. When the second, if the human jukebox comes, The second they hit Bragg Stadium and they walk in, they're gonna start cranking. And this is one of the few bands that the 100 responds to. The 100 does not. If you went to the OBC last year, the 100 ignored Jackson State's band. Jackson State played FAMU Fanfare, and the 100 just ignored it. Like, whatever, you're not us. They did not do. They pay attention to Cookman and Southern. When Southern and Cookman blow at the 100, the horns come up and folks are at attention. It's going to be, again, this is your best game to go to. If homecoming is going to be great, but halftime everybody's leaving. I'm just going to be honest with you. You got clubs to go to, parties to attend. Homecoming game starts at 4. That means you're not getting out till 7, 8 o'clock. And if you 7, 8 o'clock, you leave the stadium, you go to the hotel, it's 9 o'clock, you're waiting in line at the club. Nobody's staying for that whole game, especially if we're winning. The Southern game is the game. The atmosphere is going to be great. It's a 6 o'clock kick, so the weather should be beautiful. As long as it doesn't rain, it's going to be gorgeous. Probably a little nippy, maybe a little cold, a little brisk in the air, a little bit of, a little bit of cold winds going on. But great atmosphere. Pre-game, before the game, you got the North Florida Fair going on, and they don't pay me. I'm not pubbing them. I'm just saying, for a person with a family, I have a wife and 2 kids. I love that kind of stuff. When I can take my family somewhere with me, it's better. And this is the week. Homecoming, I'm not even gonna ask my wife to come. You're not allowed at homecoming. Stay home. It's gonna be me, maybe my daughter, so she can go see her grandparents. But I'm leaving my wife at home. I don't want her on campus. There's too many people. This game, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. This would be the one I want her to see. I want the boy to see. I want them to get that HBCU experience for 4 quarters. You got the bands blaring at each other, and you have the 2 different styles. You have the crank that you get from Southern. You have the controlled aggression from FAMU's band. You have the 2 offensive and defensive people going at each other in Dooley and Willie Simmons. You have 2 Buck Buchanan Award candidates on the field for both FAMU and Southern. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And you can just kind of see already, like, football season hadn't even started, and this is the game I'm most excited for. Just because the FAMU Southern atmosphere is just different. And it's a different animal. It's not what you're used to. It's not what we got at Southern last year, because Southern didn't have a good record last year. And by that time, it was kind of like, I don't know. Like, I wasn't traveling to that game in Baton Rouge. But this year, and again, Southern fans travel. Like, you can talk greasy about them all you want to, but even with that record they had last year, they probably had like 15,000 people in their stadium. And A.W. Mumford's a nice size stadium, almost 30,000. I believe it's 28,000. One of the largest stadiums in the SWAC, if not the second or third largest. I think they're second. I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I apologize. This is the game to go to, though. Best bang for your buck. Like, it just is. The hotel prices are cheaper. You're literally going to get 4.5, 5 quarters of action. Because pregame, Southern's going to show out. The 100's going to be on the field. They're going to do their pregame show. Then you get the football game itself. First quarter, second quarter are going to be good. Then halftime. You get both these bands out there. And if you did not see, Southern just dropped their video for their drum major. Congratulations, young man. I don't know you, but I'm not a hater. Like, I congratulate you. It looked really good. Then you get third, fourth quarter, and then you get the fifth quarter. And the fifth quarter between Southern and FAMU is fun. I don't know if you like me. I watched the YouTube video from last year's, and I was like, oh, okay. All right. That was nice. And so this is it, y'all. I'm running at 30 minutes, but again, hopefully, as Swacking a Fool says, it's an absolute sellout. And if it's not, this is the game to go to. Homecoming is going to be cute. This game's going to be efficient. Right? And that's just one of my lines. I don't like cute stuff. I want something that's going to be efficient. I promise you, you're going to get a better atmosphere as a football fan, especially a football fan and consumer of historically Black college and university sports at the Southern game. And you get a little bit of some pop and circumstance because this probably going to be senior night. And right now we're on ESPNU. So you got senior night, you have Southern and FAMU, you got the Marching 100 and the Human Jukebox. Come on. It's gonna be on and popping. And you get the North Florida Fair. I think it's like Free Kids Day at the Challenger Learning Center too, which is part of FAMU as well. So great family weekend, great time to be had. Great excuse for you to hashtag visit Tallahassee. Shameless plug for my city. I'm just saying, y'all. And so, short recap of today's episode. So, sorry about that. FAMU football, we offered Zahir Rayner, 5'10 safety. We have some new coaches. James Colsey, former student athlete of the Florida State University. Also, Devon Morgan, former player of Virginia Tech, as well as for the New York Jets and Philadelphia Eagles. We had NFL scouts on campus, most notably from the San Francisco 49ers. And the Southern game is the best value for this football season. Check the hotel prices before they go stupid, before they go crazy. I have not double checked if FSU is going to play a home game, but since I have your attention and if I can get this computer to work right with me, I'll look it up because I'm one of those people. But in another game, not game, but another bit of game. So we'll go quick inside the Rattlers Den. So our Inside the Rattlers Den is going to be tips and tricks of Tallahassee, especially for when both teams are playing. So for those who don't know, FAMU and FSU, they both have Friday celebrations. FSU has the downtown get down. FAMU has like Friday night strikes. I haven't heard anything about Friday night strikes for this year. Hopefully we do have this. But if you really want a great atmosphere, go to both. They're slightly different. Downtown Get Down is more corporate. You do have the turkey leg dude that is at the FAMU games. He goes to Downtown Get Down because he gets a larger crowd. But what you also get is you get the beer, you get all that kind of atmosphere down in Clayman Plaza. Normally in Clayman Plaza, they may move it every once and again, but it's a really good atmosphere. You pay to park in the parking garage, and it just works. So anytime FAMU and FSU have a home game, check out the Friday night strikes or check out the downtown get down. I know Max is down at the downtown get down most times. So, and that weekend, FAMU's got the city to themselves. So your hotel prices should not be quite as bad. That is November the 5th. Oh, yeah. Thank God. Because that's when Florida State plays Miami. And if you're like me, I don't do Miami Hate Week. That's a game I refuse to go to. Yeah, I'm not going to that one. So, but again, that's going to be where FAMU's got the city to themselves. You got the North Florida Fair. Great time to go to and great time to enjoy the city. All right, y'all. We're going to shut it off there. We're approaching 33, 34 minutes, and I don't want to lose your attention. So I appreciate y'all. And as always, fangs up.